This is exactly what we wanted to hear, as we just got news that is guaranteed to have Buckeye fans buzzing, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. If you are an Ohio State football fan, please hit that subscribe button. Only 22.5% of viewers are subscribed to the channel, and it really helps me out a ton. But let's jump right into what we got for today. Today's August 8th, so I hope you didn't forget we had a big time commitment announcement taking place this afternoon, and we finally have our answer. Boom! Christopher Vargas has announced his commitment to the Ohio State Buckeyes. We can see from the little line at the top of his 24/7 Sports profile, Ohio State Buckeyes hard commit 8/8/2026, aka today, August 8th. Christopher Vargas, the 6'4.5" 195-pound, 5-star quarterback, number 1 ranked quarterback in the class of 2028, just committed to Ohio State, meaning the pipeline of quarterbacks for the Buckeyes is very, very healthy. Vargas in 2028, joining Brady Edmonds in 2027, and we already have Tavien St waiting behind Julian Sayin, the former Heisman Trophy finalist. We got it good here with these quarterbacks, man. Christopher Vargas, someone that we can be extremely excited for. Consensus has him as the 6th best recruit in the entire 2028 recruiting class, number 1 quarterback, and number 1 player in the state of Massachusetts. Big time pickup here, and fortunately for us, Andrew Ivins, the director of scouting, just updated his scouting report on him. So we're going to learn exactly what Vargas is all about. We know he's a pocket passer, and the first line is going to confirm that here. Tall pocket passer whose game is built around precision and mitigating risk. Already filling nicely into a sturdy 6 feet 4.5 inch frame and is pushing 200 pounds. Exhibits no shortage of command when coordinating a balanced pro-style attack that frequently has him under center and working through a variety of different progressions. Someone in the comment section on either last video or 2 videos ago compared him to CJ Stroud, and everything I hear about him, I can't help myself but compare him to CJ Stroud as well. So I got to tip my cap to that commenter, and I really should shout you out, but I'm sorry I couldn't find the comment again. But I wish I could shout you out, because CJ Stroud as a comp for Vargas is something that I do like, even if CJ Stroud was a little bit shorter than Christopher Vargas. And there's going to be one point at the end that also reminds me of CJ Stroud. But let's keep going through here. Clean from a mechanical standpoint with an easy and repeatable motion. That's very good for a coaching perspective. Quarterbacks with a more repeatable motion, it makes it much easier for quarterback coaches to tweak your form or anything you're doing wrong with throwing the football. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, we can make slight changes to your form instead of if you're someone that's all over the place, then it gets much more difficult, much more complicated to make actual adjustments. So as long as Vargas has the right work ethic combined with that repeatable motion, that gives you the framework for a quarterback with a very, very high ceiling. Turned heads at a windy Elite 11 regional in advance of junior year with his rapid drops and tight spirals. Love to hear it. Flashes elite baseline accuracy on quick reads and can feather the football into tight coverage windows when looking down the field. A lot of these bullet points are talking about how advanced he already is as a pocket passer. Usually the number 1 overall recruit in the country at the quarterback position is going to be someone that is a dual threat, or they have a lot of juice with their legs, and that's what gives them stars. That's what boosts them up boards, because people think, man, if this guy could throw the ball better, what could he become? It's rarer to see a guy who beats defenses with accuracy being that number 1 quarterback in his class, and that makes Vargas a really, really special guy. Like, yes, he's not going to be able to turn into a crazy, crazy dual threat athlete, but this is someone that is going to be coming in as a freshman in 2028, far advanced in terms of accuracy, far advanced in terms of command of the offense, and far advanced in terms of being able to read defenses and know where the football is supposed to be. So this is exciting, even if he's not the most exciting thing in the world, which, for a lot of people is rushing quarterbacks. For me, I'll take a great quarterback now, however I can get him, but a lot of people I know want that rushing dual threat quarterback's more exciting to them, but this is a rare-ish archetype to be that first top-rated quarterback. will slide away from pressure and stand his ground, but must keep improving his improvisational skills, especially if the protection is below average. You would hope Ohio State's going to have elite protection for him. Last year, the protection wasn't elite. Let's make sure we can step up there for the year 2028, 2029, 2030, maybe 2031 when he's with the Buckeyes. Should be viewed at this stage as a potential high-level distributor with his accuracy, vision, and character. First of all, I hope he would be viewed as a high-level distributor, ranked the number one quarterback in the class. But that last point, high character guy, you love that out of your quarterback. That's the point that reminds me of C.J. Stroud, who's really an unbelievably high character athlete in terms of NFL players. So that, again, made me go back and think of C.J. Stroud. So very excited to bring in Christopher Vargas. He is going to be joining an Ohio State class of 2028, which is still ranked as the second best recruiting class in 2028. But what I want to focus in on is that last column all the way to the right, the points column, where the Ohio State Buckeyes have significantly closed the gap versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Alabama has had the number one recruiting class in 2028 for months after essentially sitting out of the 2027 recruiting cycle. In 2027, Alabama's class is ranked somewhere in the 30s. So they sat out with the idea that they're going to go hard again in 2028. So it's not a surprise that the Crimson Tide are number one, but I do like seeing Ohio State with 4 recruits and 3 of the 4 are 5 stars. That's super impressive. Those points, Ohio State was about 24 points. Please excuse my math if that's not perfect, but it looks like about 24 points short of the Alabama Crimson Tide. We are running Bama down right now because Alabama came out really, really fast in terms of recruiting for the 2028 class. Going to be a battle to see who is going to come out on top of that 2028 recruiting class, but you have to imagine Ohio State in a great position to do so with 3 5-stars compared to Alabama's currently 0 5-stars. I'm pretty positive they're going to be adding at least 1 or 2 or likely 3 or 4 5-stars to that recruiting class. Now, Vargas joins Brady Edmonds as the 2 quarterbacks committed currently to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Brady Edmonds, we saw a little bit of uncertainty where he was going to end up a little bit earlier in the summer. There was a push from UCLA, but ultimately Brady Edmonds decided to stick with his original commitment that was announced back in 2024 on December 2nd, 2024. Now Brady Edmonds locked in with the Buckeyes. He's going to be the next quarterback on campus in 2027. 6'5", 220 pounds, 4-star recruit from Huntington Beach, California. He's going to have something to say when Christopher Vargas gets on campus in 2028, trying to battle it out for that starting Buckeye quarterback slot. Maybe Tavien St. is still there with his, with one of his final years. Maybe St. Clair's already in the NFL. We will see. But the other thing we got to take a look at, earlier in the summer, we heard that the plan for the Ohio State Buckeyes in 2027 was 2 quarterbacks. Now, we knew Brady Edmonds was committed. We heard the plan was a second quarterback. I have not heard that from our insiders for a while. And part of that is probably because Ohio State was not able to generate enough momentum with any of the quarterback targets that we are going after. But there are still 2 top quarterback targets that are still worth talking about. The first one's going to be Trey Taylor, who is the number 1 consensus quarterback in the class of 2027. He is currently committed to Nebraska, family just moving to Omaha, Nebraska to be closer to the Cornhuskers. Ohio State's been trying to make something happen here for a while. Nothing I have ever read has ever given me the inclination that Trey Taylor is going anywhere else other than Nebraska. The family moved states to be closer to Nebraska. I just don't see why they would take those steps and then he would flip to Ohio State. That doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Maybe if Matt Rule gets fired, maybe if the Nebraska program goes belly up and has a really, really horrible year this year, then Trey Taylor changes his mind, but he committed to Nebraska. He didn't commit to Ohio State, didn't commit to Georgia, didn't commit to an elite program. He understands the possibility of that program having a poor year in 2026 was always going to be there, and he still decided he was going to move to Omaha, Nebraska. So a lot of buzz, but the buzz feels one-sided, almost from Ohio State insiders who want it to happen and are trying to speak it into existence, but not insiders that are actually like predicting that it actually will happen. It's more talking about it and hoping that's going to happen instead of it actually happening. The other top target that the Buckeyes have in 2027 is number 2 consensus quarterback in Elijah Haven. He's currently committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Haven, another top-ranked guy here, 5-star consensus, 6'5", 235 pounds. He is another guy that the Buckeyes are they're going to try to flip him. Committed currently to Bama, which is, of course, a top program. Haven, I guess you would say he's more likely to flip than Trey Taylor would be, but neither one of these guys do I see a really obvious scenario or reason why they would flip from their original commitment. So I have a low level of confidence on Ohio State's ability to actually flip either one of these guys or any of their top targets. All of our top targets for 2027 flip-wise, they're all top guys committed to top schools. And I'm like, what are we doing here? So the news, like I said, early in the summer was that we were going to try to make these flips happen. I looked at that and said, that's not going to happen. Why would that happen? And over the summer, guess what? Nothing happened. So maybe Ohio State is cool with just Brady Edmonds. Maybe we're not. Only time will tell. We're going to have all the updates right here on Columbus Football 365. That's what I got for this one. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Go Buckeyes.